Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mike31. Xfinity race tonight. It's been kind of cool having these Bristol night races on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Kind of stretch out the weekend a little bit. So I'll go through it quickly, but if you want more information on this, go to the description of the video and you can get into FSi DFS. It'll take you a link to our pricing page. $6 today. You get WNBA if it's out there. College football, we got if you can play that in your state. We're gonna have MLB. We're gonna have if there's any soccer slates tonight, Charlie's covering those as always. NASCAR. So many cool things. So Bristol race last night, the truck race went pretty much as expected, which was good. My cash lineup, I only paid like $50 overall just because we had football going last night. We had Major League Baseball. Had so many things going on, just managing my bankroll respectively. So I had like one line out of the $50, so it was $14 on it. Ended up winning like 120. So good night for me. I look forward to more profit tonight. So it's hard to pass in the truck race unless like some of them got new tires, and again there weren't like that many pit stops just because it was such a short race. This one's a little bit longer, probably 2 to 3 pit stops for them. I don't think it's going to turn into a field mile race at the end. We'll see. I do think that they did apply something to lower grooves, and maybe I read that somewhere on X/Twitter today that potentially is going to help create a second groove down the bottom where the preferred groove's probably up on the top. So if people want to try that, then there might be a more opportunity to pass. But the trouble with the short track is that a lot of times those cars get passed that are in the back really fast because it's such a short track that the leaders catch them right away and just start putting multiple laps down. So some of these junk cars could end up very easily 5, 10, 15 laps down by the time the race is over. Couple cool statistics there is like Ford hasn't won this since long time ago. I think it was before even Obama was president. It's been a while. I can't remember exactly how far back it was. Let me see if I can find that stat here. I saw that, but it's been a long time. Um, so maybe it wasn't before Obama was president. It was somewhere in like the early 2010s. Anyways, been a long time, almost 10 years, probably, maybe longer. Chevy has won, looks like maybe 7 out of the last 8 races or something. So they have performed really, really well here. And Toyotas have been decent too. Not to say the Fords have all had bad finishes, they just haven't won the race. So you're probably looking at for dominators here. Uh Probably 1 to 2 is where I'm looking at here. If you want to try to squeeze a third one in, then I can I can see that. But most of them, I'm looking back at some of the optimals here. Uh, yeah, so probably 2 is going to be like most likely what the build's going to be. Especially because it's kind of weird because there's a lot of cars starting up close to the top that I know are going to fall down. So, and a lot of cars in the middle that could rise up. So, but I didn't want to put them as like dominators or upside dominators. I wanted to list them as like cash plays or prime plays because I think the place differential there is going to be just as good as the dominator points. And if you get to both, then awesome. All right, so let's just break this down. Start at the top. So we have a Toyota leading the field here, Chandler Smith. No, the other thing, sorry, very important. Last race before the playoffs start. So the guys in green have won. They're already in. The guys in yellow, Reed and Almendinger, they are like 100 points up, so they should be locked in. There should be no way that mathematically anything should happen for them. The two fighting for the final spot are Klingerman and Smith, unless somebody wins that's a new driver that qualifies. Those ones are in the red. So Alfredo, Clements, Jones, Weatherman, Sieg, Burton, Ellis, Retzloff, Poole, Honeyman, and Josh Williams. Out of those, Brendan Jones could potentially win. Ryan Sieg is a very long shot, but could potentially win. Retzloff and Burton equally as long shots as Sieg, and then Josh Williams maybe. I don't really see like Honeyman, Poole, Ellis. Weatherman, Clements, or Alfredo winning this race. So I don't think they're going to come into factor here. So I think it's going to be a race between Klingerman and Smith for that final spot. And just the way NASCAR sometimes works, if you believe conspiracy theories, Kligerman is retiring after the season. He has given a lot to the Xfinity series. So do they throw a caution or something towards the end to help him out, to help him get that final spot over Smith? Like to say it doesn't happen, but we'll just have to see. So let's get into the breakdown now. So Gibbs has had a strong season and with their cars here. Chandler Smith equally as much. Ran really well here in the Truck Series. Dominator, a chalk play. I think he's a good place if you want to start with a Dominator. Same thing with Cole Custer. Again, it's a Ford, hasn't won the race. Doesn't mean that you can't go out there and dominate early win. So I think between one of the two of these, they're going to go out there and lead early. Anthony Alfredo, we can cross off. I don't know in what universe he will factor into being a dominator here. I see him falling quickly out of the top 10 with the amount of talent that is behind him. He's a good race car driver. He's not an elite race car driver. You have some very aggressive, strong drivers behind him that should be able to go out and get ahead. Allgaier is one of them. So I think you want to potentially have two of three if you can get them in your build. The primes they gave you weren't as expensive, but there are a lot of good cash plays that you could rotate out if you don't want to play Mare as a prime play for the place differential. So I would try to get two of the three of these drivers in. So Chandler, Smith, Cole Custer, Allgaier. Allmendinger is a great GPP play as an upside one. Again, he should be locked in there and has the upside to dominate. Then you have a row of guys here between Earnhardt, Clements, and Weatherman who should be moving backwards. Brendan Jones, not necessarily a Brendan Jones track. I like him better on like super speedways, but I think that he has the potential to be able to have a decent race here. So I will be playing some shots in GPP that he could potentially go out there and dominate and try to go for the win here, to try to win his way in and to take the final spot away from Klingerman and Smith. Jesse Love, I really like also. I think that he can move up through the field potentially and pass Weatherman, Clements, Earnhardt, and Alfredo and stay in the top 10. So I think he's an upside dominator too. Potential for him to go out and lead, already locked into the playoffs. Klingerman, again, I don't know if he is one that you really, he could potentially go out there and dominate. And again, I think I have there might be a soft spot for him for the narrative to get him in before he retires. But I think he might be conservative and might be a terrible DFS play here because if he's going for stage points and stage points and stage points, he might lose track position for the third and final stage. And if he cannot make it up on the track, or gets back in traffic and gets caught up in an accident, then that could be very hurtful. Sieg, it's all or nothing here. Now he's the guy that like zigs when other people zag, and would he come up with some weird pit strategy and the caution fall at the right time and be out there and have the track position and be able to hold it? Possibly. That's why he's intriguing as a GPP play. I Floyd would put him in the 100K lineup. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think with Brandon Jones in the equation, that if anybody's going to snipe one, that he's going to be the one to do it. So, but I will maybe play him in a couple lineups just in case, at least one. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to be the prime play, the lock of the slate. He last time he ran Xfinity, if his car didn't catch on fire, he probably would have won that race. He's not Kyle Busch, but he's still very, very good. His speed in practice was outstanding. The fall off was outstanding. Um, he just is able to maintain speed even long into runs. So very, very talented driver, obviously a legacy, and I think that she's going to be highly, highly owned, probably the highest owned driver, just because you have an opportunity to play him again, and I think he's definitely a prime look for your cash games here. Sheldon Creed, I usually with Sheldon Creed, he's a GPP, but for some reason this feels like a Sheldon Creed race for me. I toyed with him in the 10K lineup, but I like the other three drivers better. He's a Toyota, but I think that again, with having potentially like Sieg and Weatherman and Clements and Alfredo, I think he can get up into the top 10 and have a solid day. And he could potentially even get out there and lead. He's just that aggressive, but with that aggressiveness can come a cost. So he's borderline GPP. I threw a cash just because I have this weird gut feeling. So that he could be a solid play for your lineup and maybe go out there and dominate a little bit. So he just fell between so many categories that I just landed on cash for some reason. I just feel that it could be a good night for him. Riley Herbst, same thing. Looked good in practice. Again, it's a Ford, so he's probably not going to win this. But 8,200, locked into playoffs. Can he hang in the top 15? Probably. Advance a little bit. Probably have a solid night. Do what he needs to pay off his price tag. I think so. Ryan Truex has done really well in every single race he's run out there. He has the luxury also with Dale Earnhardt Jr. to go out there and short pit and doesn't have to worry about stage points or playoff position or anything like that. So, and he's just run amazing in this series, the few races that he's run, and he's in an elite all-star team that is very, very good. So, I think a lot of people are going to overlook him and look at like the known commodities here and take place differential below him. I think they might look at the price tag at 9K and be like, no, I'd rather stay in like the 7 or 8K range and try to jam in all these dominators up top, which I'm not saying is the wrong move. But if you're trying to take down a tournament, then I think Truex might be a decent one to play in your lineup. Austin Hill, I like him in cash also. 93, again, kind of like Sheldon Creed. So you're probably going to need to get up into the top 10, maybe the top 5, lead some laps to pay it off. Yes. But I just feel that there's a floor here and just the way Creed and Hill drive with enough aggressiveness um, to get around people and hopefully not rub them the wrong way. And not that I want to beat them up, although I don't think anybody's beating up Austin Hill at the end of a race. Like that's a big dude right there. So Chad Fincham started way too far forward here. This I don't know if this car is going to be able to stay on the lead lap. Good job for you for this qualifying lap, but I just can't see you staying up there. Joe Got Jr. has improved a lot. I'm taking him away from the Haley Deegan and Drew Dollar and Harrison Burton table, and he can sit with the big kids this Thanksgiving. And I think maybe it's just help like being a Joe Gift Racing and they tell them that you're not going to go out there and tear up our cars. You're going to go out there and race. We see some raw potential in you and we're going to help try to harvest it. And I think they've done well. So is he going to win the race? Probably not. Can he stay in the top 20? I think so. Maybe advance a little. Yes. 7,400 is not a bad price tag for it. So GPP for me for a Gibbs car with a driver that has seemed to have gotten his head out of his behind. Dan Mayer, good put prime play here because I just don't think many people are going to play him. I like to speed in practice. I do. No, actually, I do him as chocolate. I think he's going to be very popular with the place differential. But then again, I look at it too, and I think, well, are people not going to play him because they're going to try to get the guys up top? Because if he can't pass or looking to try to get the dominator points with them, I don't know. He's locked into the playoffs, and I think that he has a chance to definitely advance here and get probably a top 15, top 10. I love his speed in practice. I think that he's got better long run speed than a lot of them, and I think that he'll have a good race. So that's why I have him as a prime play. Again, if you want to X him out and try to get of the dominators up top in, and you can't get to that 10K, then I'm perfectly fine. Um, I'd probably I'll find another prime substitute as we get down into the bottom of this. Sammy Smith has to win to get in. So he's in the 10K lineup because Parker Klingman obviously is starting 10 places forward. Sammy Smith has to do stuff. He has to make some moves, be aggressive, be bold, or he's going to be home for the holidays. Of course, they keep on racing. So it's just, but I think he really wants to make the playoffs. Chevys have been really good here, and so JR Motorsports have been solid. So I can see him advancing through the field and hopefully not have a ton of ownership and be overlooked and be part of the winning 10K lineup. Lucky is not a road course, and you're starting way too far forward. Definitely for me. Stephon Parsons has had a solid season for Alpha Prime, starting a little bit too far forward here. So GPP, don't think I completely write him off because I read off the cards that are way, way down in the bottom because they're going to be lapped right away. I think he's in a position where he can kind of hold on to the lead lap, maybe lose a little bit of place differential, but not consistently be put down lap after lap after lap. Letty Benedetto has had a solid season. I think you can play him in cash here, and I think he has a lot of upside too for the place differential and should be able to have a solid day. You have well, Ryan Ellis, I think, is a GPP also. Again, outside shot to win here, but I don't think that's going to happen. Um, yeah, if you need a 5K car, I think you can go down a little bit further, but he's in play here. So that leaves us the three. Jordan, sorry about that. I'll try to get through this without coughing anymore. So you have the three Jordan Anderson cars. I think they're all in a great spot here. I'm going to put the prime on Jeb Burton, but Retzloff is also definitely one that at 7,300 has a lot of potential. And I think Austin Green's going to be kind of the sleeper here. He's in really good equipment. He has a really good point per dollar finish average in the races that he's won. I think he could catch a lot of people by surprise. The people are going to overlook his name, so he's going to be the third one in the 10K lineup. Brandon Poole, GPP, again, a really, really, really long shot to get in if he wins it. Not probably going to happen, but I think he's an Alpha Prime car. He's starting far enough out of the 30s to be able to stay on the lead lap. Carson Ware coming over and a Joey Gase car. Joey Gase cars are terrible, so I see him falling backwards. Honeyman and Williams also have opportunity. Honeyman, as we call him Moneyman, he's been solid. I think he's a GPP play. Again, I think he's probably on the fringe of getting caught here because I think Williams can is aggressive and better equipment and get out ahead. Where where in Honeyman I might start to fall laps down. Lane Perkins, GPP, same thing. I just fear that he's going to get caught by the leaders pretty fast. Shane Van Gisbergen didn't have a great qualifying here, but he's okay in practice and definitely not a 34th place car. I think he can work his way up through the field here, so he's a solid cash play. And if you don't want to play Mayer and cash, and you want to try to get more dominators in up top, then take the prime tag off of Mayer and put it on Shane Van Gisbergen. Logan Bearden in the 15, which Harrison Burton's going, it was announced today is going to be taking over. It was the Haley Deegan car. So Burton's dropping down for Cup for it. But Logan's been okay, but his average finish is like 26. So I don't expect much from him. It's a good car, it's a good team, but I think that he could end up laps down early. Kyle Sieg, I think, can get up through there and be able to hold on to the lead lap. So I think you can play him in cash. I think he'll be pretty popular down here, but I'm not touching Smithley or Van Alts. They'd probably be like 10, 15 laps down by the time the race is over. So I got for you. If you have a question, put a chat below. Hit me with anyone on Twitter/X. And if you want more information, like I said, FSi DFS, go to the description of the video. If videos help us back, like, subscribe, share, and share with your friends. So I'm gonna get out of here so I can get this up because we're only have like less than an hour or two before the race. So hopefully you get a chance to watch it. Hopefully it helps you out. And hopefully it helps you start your weekend off on the right foot. So look for the video either probably Saturday morning at some point for a Saturday night cup race, and NFL will be coming out Saturday night too for a Sunday. So lots of cool things coming on. Hope you have a great weekend. Good luck in your contest. I'll see you next time.